Okay, so you're over 40. You are thinking 0 to 1 million would be amazing. And at this point in your life, you are sick and tired of not getting ahead. You're sick and tired of having one thing after another just drain your finances, living paycheck to paycheck, not having enough to retire, not having enough to actually live a life that you love, not being able to help your kids, your other family, whatever it may be. You're to the point where you're sick and tired, and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, what can we do about it? I, personally, am sick and tired of seeing more and more homeless people. I am sick and tired of seeing cars with front ends torn off, with bumpers torn off, with broken windows, with duct tape. I can't even believe that in this day and age, we are to the point where nobody seems to have money for anything. Um, I don't even know what to say, really. But as I look around at all of this and I think, my God, there's got to be something we can do. So at this point, I've come up with the idea that if we can get people to be able to have enough money to pay off what they owe, then they can get ahead. While I originally thought, I can show people how to pay off their debts fast and build an emergency fund and be a month ahead on their bills, that's not enough. That's not going to get you to anything substantial. Yes, it's a lot, but it's not going to drastically change your life. To actually have enough money in the bank to where you are stable for a very long time, that is going to change your life. So, how do we do that? 0 to 1 million in 1 year. I wanted to do as fast as possible, as much money as possible, because, well, for one, IRS takes a lot of money out of that. So $1 million is not $1 million. Then we want to pay off all our debts. And I'd like to have it to where you can, fix a car, get a brand new car, buy a house, pay off a house, anything like that. You're going to have a good amount, if not all of the money that you need to do those things. And then everything from there on out is bonus. It's the money that gets saved. It's the money that gets invested. It's the money that builds your new life. Then, at that point, we can start to look at ways that you can take what you learned in the challenge and create something that is a life you want. And hopefully outside of the job you currently have. Because if you've been doing this job and it has not gotten you where you need to go, then it's not the job that you need to stay at. So with the challenge, we are going to have a few rules. One, the challenge is for 1 year. So 0 to 1 million in 1 year. We are going to start with next to no money for the mere fact that most people don't have a lot. So we're going to start with next to nothing. Then we're going to do it part-time because most people are working 1 or 2 or 3 jobs. And then there's the family and the kids and all of the different responsibilities that you have that take up a lot of time. So that means you don't have the time to start another business. Then we are also going to make this a little more complicated, and we're going to have multiple sources of income that we work on, but we're not going to do it all at once. We're going to kind of start building one upon the other so that if anything were to happen and one wasn't working out well or one started working and fell totally apart, then you can, rearrange things and cover yourself so that you're still earning. The goal is to keep earning and to hopefully get rid of your other job because you never know when that's going to fall out from under you. So, with our little notes, we have now covered all of the rules. Then we're going to go into a little bit of disclosure. So, I actually started working on this a few months ago. So we have a few things that are done. One, I have already created what is now going to be like a freebie. That was going to be a paid course, and that was going to be showing people how to get out of debt, how to get a month ahead on their bills, and build an emergency fund and fix their credit. So everything in one, but we're giving away for free so that I can hopefully get people in a position where they're not in a dire situation so that they can start building and making the money. Because if you're too bad off, you can't focus on doing all of this because you have too many stresses on one side and no ability to move and shift to actually building. So that is where we stand with that. The other things I've done are set up a platform so that I could have the course on there, and an email service provider. I also took the time to research them to see which ones were going to give the most benefit, work together, and be the cheapest, because that's what I'm trying to do for everybody. Then last one here is that I have already picked the different sources of income that I am going to create so that we can build them upon each other. Everybody can follow along and do similar things to me, or they can find their own, because we'll kind of talk about how all of that works together. Then, a few things going forward. One, I'm going to upload 3 times a week at minimum into YouTube, because our first income source is going to be YouTube. It's going to be the monetization. So with that, we're going to get monetized in 2 weeks. That is the goal. I'm hoping to hit it. If not, no big deal. But that's the first goal, because once that's done, everything else is going to build upon that. So with that, note-wise, I'm going to then start on the second source of income after YouTube has been monetized, because once the monetization is on, then I can do more videos that are about the second income source, and then they're going to start working back together. So that is partly what we'll be having. And then with my notes, my final one is that everybody can join along. They can watch here, they can subscribe and see how this is going. They can pick up tips and see what works, and maybe they find something just from that like, oh, I could do that, and they take it and run with it. In addition, I'm going to have a online group where we're going to go more in depth. So if I'm talking about, well, this is the email service provider that I use, how do you do that? Well, in the group, I'm going to actually show you how I set all of that up. That isn't going to be a YouTube video. I'm not going to explain how to use all of the software except on the back end. So that being said, we have a lot of work to do. I'm hoping that for 2025 that I can make this a process that everyone can replicate. I'm hoping against hope, that everybody can actually get themselves out of debt this year. That's what I would like. But in the meantime, we're going to do the best we can. We're going to have fun with this. And remember, even if we absolutely fail and only have a 10% success rate, we have still succeeded beyond what we could have ever done before. I'm hoping that you follow along with me and that you see if this can actually be done. I'm hoping it can be done, and I'm hoping that if I can do it, you can do it.